Hi everyone!
Hi everyone!
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year!
Merry Christmas.
One is like post, one is pre.
One is, yeah.
Yeah, okay, hi everyone. Hope this is going live now, okay? It's been some time, I was like really, as we are setting this up, I was like really thinking as in like, when was the last time we went on live? It was quite a few months ago. Right, at least early October, maybe I talk about the 12 animal sign with this sort of like setup,
Yes,
right?
with this
But,
setup.
Yeah, please excuse those shadows.
What shadows?
Well, yeah, that's how living in denial is. No shadow. Perfect.
Please welcome our two fur babies, Mocha, Faster.
Hey, Lian is there watching live lah. Please welcome our two babies.
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Lian. Welcome our viewers first.
No,
right?
I mean our viewers, of course, our precious viewers. Right, so our precious viewers, please welcome our two fur babies who are joining us at least for an undetermined duration. I don't know when they'll get bored or too hot. And
Yep.
too restless and they want to jump off.
Yeah, and they will destroy our setting. You know why? There's like so many shadows because we have perfectly prepared it. And then suddenly, someone came home and this little girl here excitedly, in a way, jumps off the sofa and that's it.
Yes.
Okay, so all the shadows come out.
Yeah.
And we do not have any more time,
Okay.
to really rectify that issues. So yeah, we are going to go live with this.
Yes,
okay?
with this, yeah.
All right, so yeah, we have quite a number of like people tuning in. Leanne is one of them, okay. Ching Ting, hi, okay. And then Diana Choi is there as well, okay. Gary, hi Gary. Right, I assume Angie is like also tuning in live there as well. Hi, good evening. Hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. We had a wonderful Christmas party. Post party, okay, last night. It was wonderful, it was beautiful, it was, wow. Oh, we have some people in our family hanging over until today. Yeah, it was that. Yeah,
Yes,
it
yes.
was that intense,
Yes,
right?
and overall we
Hi,
also had
Alethea.
a very nice, like sort of all mixed together lead up towards Christmas. Right, we were traveling in Europe, and then we were in Spain and Portugal specifically, and then of course all throughout we were busy overall, not just eating great food, but also preparing for the new year, right? Pleasantly and also very importantly on the information and sharings that we've been doing throughout. And that's what we've been doing ever since we came back as well. So it's quite nice lead up to Christmas. And then Christmas suddenly now is over. As we know, Mariah Carey is back in storage.
Andy Lau is coming
Andy
out,
Lau
right?
is coming out. I don't know if you've seen that. Right? And of course, the Year of the Snake's energy is really, really getting stronger and stronger now. Right? We've already had the first level of it at the November point. And then, of course, with winter solstice, that's another threshold that we've entered into. And yeah, lo and behold, now it's the attention towards the Chinese New Year lunar celebrations, and then just days after that, right, will be, of course, the solar Chinese New Year. So what I mean to say is time is passing really fast.
Very, very
And
fast.
we've had a pretty good time leading up to New Year, which is soon in a couple of days, and then behold, lo and behold,
And
Chinese
this
New Year
has
will be
been
over.
our tradition ever since the pandemic. We started
Correct.
doing this in 2021.
Correct.
Every year we talk about how to tame the Grand Duke, okay, of the following year. And we started this tradition since 2021, and now we are preparing for the Grand Duke of 2025.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And then it has been for 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, or at least 3 years. We either do it on the 1st of January or at the eve of New Year, which is the 31st December, and we'll do a countdown together. So this year is an exception because we have been booked. Okay, on the 31st of December, where there is no way that we can set up, okay, this sort of setup to share about the Grand Duke. So I decided to bring it earlier. So I'm sharing with all of you here tonight, okay, on a Sunday night, all right, about how to tame the Grand Duke of 2025. And on the 31st of December, if we are still standing, okay, soberly, probably we will do a Facebook Live to count down together into the new year. If, fingers crossed.
Yes.
Right, basically I won't drink lah,
Let's
okay?
see how.
But let's see how many people can hold the camera for me and can still count down together with me. We shall see, okay, on the 31st of December.
Yes.
So we have also, I think just now, Leona was saying, oh my God, so cute, just sit there. I mean, fingers crossed we will.
We don't know how long. Yes, yeah. And in
Yeah.
fact, those of you who join us, actually, we have two our fur babies with us, both
Yeah.
Coco and Mocha. If you can see only one, try to find where's the other one.
Yeah, she's just hanging on there. Just like many people, right, in our life, okay, we are sometimes just hanging on, okay, for time to pass.
Yes.
Alatia is there, Gary is there with Angie. He said yes. Sally,
Yeah.
Sally Lee is there as well. All right, Andrew. Okay, hi Andrew. Okay, thank you for tuning in.
Hey.
All right, hi to Sive as well, I assume. And then we have Guat Yi Tan. Okay, Angie Ang. Okay, Agnes Chong. Hi. Okay, Teresa Gore. And then Andrew said they saw our pictures of the post. Thanks to Leanne. Okay, who always keep updating and sharing. Okay, Alice James is there. Janice Tong. Hi. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Michelle Liu. As I go on to this, right? Okay, please help us to share this session out so that it can reach out to more people. Nancy. Okay,
Hi,
hi Nancy.
Yep.
All right, and then Katie Gore is there. Hi, Katie. Okay, Chi Chi Chow is there as well. And then Xiang Ling, hi. Okay, and then do impromptu Facebook Live. Yeah, that depends on our spiritual leader on that night lah. Okay, right? How well behaved it is and how he influenced the rest of the people. All right, and then after that, we also have Liz Chi. All right, lying down in the center, Leona say, okay, she spotted Coco. Felicia, in between both of you, okay? All right, comfortably laying between the two of you, Leanne, okay? All right, Randy Chan is also there, okay? So thank you so much. I see that Diane Fu have just tuned in as well.
Hi,
so first
Diane.
of all, okay, you want to see your page as well? So
Yes, I'm
first
looking
of
at
all,
it.
First of all, thank you for tuning in. And those of you, if you can help us to share this session out, please help us to share this session out.
Yes.
Please support us by trying to help us to support the informations that we share out so that it can reach out to more people. Okay, hi Shinjo. Okay, Georgiana. Right, thank you for being there. Okay, let's start here. Hi Erica.
Yes. Hi
okay.
to Amy.
Yeah, Erica has
Hi,
just signed up our
Amy.
new Soul's Journey.
Yes, hi Erica.
member.
Hi to Amy. Hi to Chumpon. If staying and from Taiwan, Thailand. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So now, first of all, let's talk about the Grand Duke. Okay. Now, I know many of you, especially practitioners, you know, last minute I was like thinking of like some things I want to share additional, especially those of you into metaphysics, okay, and especially those of you who are into parts, right? So I thought that's why I sent out a message, okay, especially to my Soul Journey students and all that, and also in my Path of Energy Ascension private group. I remind everyone to join us live tonight, because I have like some things that I want to share with you, which is different from before, okay? So therefore, I call upon you, okay, to join me on tonight's live itself. And if you can help me to share this link out so that it can reach out to more people and more people can learn together and grow together. All right, so I guess first of all, we talk about like more understanding, okay, about the Grand Duke first, okay? So you want to start first with that, or I can just blah, 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 blah on? No, according to Nicole, it's like, what yippee yippee, what yippee, huh? Yappy yap. She keep on saying, it's like, no, she's not very fast one. Yappity yap. Okay, she keeps saying that I'm the one who's like, keep on yappity yapping away. Right?
Yeah.
So how?
I'll start a little bit and you can continue.
Please do.
Okay, well, every time we talk about the Grand Duke, there are a couple of interpretations of it, but essentially it's the annual energy of the year, right? And it is, the Grand Duke is seen as the activator, and because of that, it is basically the dominant energy, the strongest energy for the year itself, yeah? So, and whatever it is, whether we are related to astrology, we're related to Bazi or to Feng Shui or whatever, it's the same idea of the annual energy being the most powerful because it is ruling the year. And then at the same time, it's also activating whatever other dormant or shorter term, medium term, and also the permanent energies of either ourselves based on our charts, and also for the Feng Shui related areas, it will be the area, of course, the structure there. It could be a home, it could be an office, which also contain, of course, a set of natal energies, just like our Bazi chart. And our Bazi chart, just like also the structure of physical Feng Shui structures as well, they have a medium-term energy layer, and then we have the activating layer, which is basically the annual energy, which is also the Grand Duke. Right? Of course, for astrology, the Grand Duke itself is made out of the entire pillar, right, with the heavenly stem, and then, of course, with the earthly branch or animal sign at the bottom. The whole pillar itself is one of 60 pillars. So in short, there's also 60 variations of the Grand Duke. So for this edition, this year that's already started in multiple levels and will get into its full force after February 3rd or February 4th, we have the Yi Si or the wood snake as the Grand Duke.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So, Chop. Okay, we have to say hi to
Hi.
this 2% who have just signed in, especially
Alright.
Jennifer Yap. Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jen.
Yeah. Okay. And most of you already know that. Okay, Jennifer Yap from J Group. She's our main sponsors, and you know all our Facebook Live, okay? I mean, we are so blessed that we do not have to do it empty-handed, all right? Because she always sponsors us for every Facebook Live of information sharing, okay, to everyone on our platforms,
That's
okay?
right.
So we really, really thank, okay, Jennifer.
Yes.
She also sponsored Nicole to support us with all this setting up with the Facebook. Sorry for the shadows tonight, okay? It was a disaster with Coco. Okay, last minute when we're about to go on live. All right.
Yes.
So thank you.
Big
okay.
thanks
Yeah, big thanks to Jennifer.
Jennifer,
Shok
yes.
Yi is also there. Okay.
Yes.
Hi, Shok Yi. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. So we continue on as have you finished?
Yes, and
Okay,
I also
pretty
wanted to say, basically, we had the Grand Duke as a energy that is in the universe, in the cosmos, right? That's why from astrology we can decipher the energy of the Grand Duke and how this energy also activates other energies, right? And similarly, when it comes to feng shui as well, and that's also, correct me if I'm wrong, the original nature actually of the spiritual Grand Duke. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now, as Gong Yu has also mentioned it from an astrology point of view, okay, and many of you knows that I grew up in the temple, I work in the temple for the longest time, in a way serving, okay, in the Taoist temple, that everyone, every year, they will go to the temple to do the prayers to subdue the Grand Duke. So first of all, okay, let's understand more about the Grand Duke from both the metaphysical part of things, astrological part of things, and also from the, I would say, the spiritual part of things as well. Now, Grand Duke, okay, is actually the term, okay, of the bigger star, okay, the bigger star means like the biggest in our, I would say, Soi one means it's like our annual luck, okay, this is the biggest, okay, the biggest star that is in a way impacting our life itself, okay. Now, why is it say biggest? Because it given it the name Grand Duke or the Great Duke. In other words, in Chinese, it's called Tai Soi. Okay. Now we have Soi. Soi one means it's like our age or our life, our luck or whatever you want to call it, or this layer of luck that we're talking about, this layer of age that we're talking about. Then we also have the layers of age that come before us. Okay, just like, okay, let's say for instance, we are a child of someone. Okay, so to call our parents, those, okay, we call our parents, and we call our grandparents, okay, the grandparents. But once the layer goes even above, anything even above our grandparents, okay, we call them the great grandparents. Okay, so the great here in Chinese we call Tai. Okay, Tai means the great, the grandest, the biggest, the most powerful, okay, the most respectful, okay, right? That is the term of Tai that we give, okay, to someone in terms of Chinese, of someone of highly respect. Let's say, for instance, Kek Yang. Kek Yang means it's like the most yang of all. They call it Tai Yang. Tai Yang means the sun, okay? So in our solar systems, okay, the most, I would say, brightest, strongest, biggest, most powerful element, we call it Tai Yang, okay? So Tai Yang means, okay, this is like the greatest source of energy in our solar system. That's why we give them the name Tai, means great or grand. The same thing now, we talk about the planets. When it comes to the planetary alignments, okay, all the planets we have in our solar system, okay, the biggest, most impactful, most powerful, the grandest of all, we call it the Grand Duke, okay? It means that this amongst all the rest of the planets, okay, which is orbiting around the sun, there's one specific planet, okay, that is the biggest, the grandest, and the most powerful, that is going to have a lot of impact on the rest of the planets in our solar system. And therefore, we call it, this is called the Grand Duke. Okay, so therefore, Grand Duke, we are referring to this biggest planets in our solar system, which, okay, is the Jupiter. So if you look at Jupiter itself, right, okay, it takes or makes its orbit around the sun, okay, right? Every one orbit around the sun itself, it takes it almost 11 point something years, okay? I've forgotten exactly. So overall, it is almost 12 years. So generally, okay, so every time the Grand Duke Jupiter, when it orbits around, Grand Duke Jupiter means the planet Jupiter, okay, when it orbits around the sun itself, and in order for it to complete one entire circle, okay, back to its original starting point, which God knows where, right? Okay, but you know that as long as you in no way complete one position, it requires roughly approximately 12 years. So every year itself, okay, this particular Grand Duke or Jupiter itself will actually, in a way, goes into a different quadrant. So a different degree, okay, of direction to measure out from the Earth. So this particular direction itself, okay, belongs to what we call a one animal sign. Or in Western astrology,
It's the-
okay,
it's the same.
it's the same,
Yeah.
right? Because you have like Taurus, Pisces, Aries, and other
That's
things as
right,
well, right?
yes.
And each of these 12 horoscope also governs a certain degree similar to the Chinese astrology, which is the 12th animal sign. So generally, the Grand Duke just means that when it travels into a certain degree of that particular animal sign, and of which 2025, the Grand Duke shines on the direction of the snake quadrant.
That's right. Yes.
Which is the snake year. All right. So now, when I say shines upon the snake quadrant, okay, so when the Grand Duke, okay, shines upon the snake quadrant, it means its light can be seen fully, impactfully, okay, and has its full impact onto the snake quadrant. And this is the house, the palace, the location of everyone that has a snake in their chart. It means if you have a snake in your chart, wherever it is, but especially on your year pillar, right? As long as you have a snake, it means that your house has been shined upon. Now imagine, okay, this house, your planet, your palace has been triggered. The light suddenly goes into it, okay? Something switch off in your palace, in your house. So it means what? Now we have like super intelligent and smart houses, right? Okay, right? So certain times itself, right? Okay, something at your house got triggered. When you're the owner of the house, you have the alarm system that you carries with you, that if anything happens to your house, the intelligence of the AI in your house will now notify you. It will trigger you. It will keep the alarm off. And you will be triggered and know, oh, my house got triggered. Something just in a way lighted up. All the lights in the house goes lighted up where something moves there. The energy moves there. And that is the, in a way, impact of Tai Shui. All right. So now remember here, the key word is it shines on this particular palace, but doesn't mean that the actual Jupiter is at this palace. Now I know a lot of times I also in a way read out a bit on the Western astrology. They will say that, oh, Grand Duke, probably Jupiter will be at Taurus, if I'm not mistaken, by next year, okay? And Taurus is where the snake is, okay? The direction of the snake, all right? Somewhere around May, if I'm not mistaken, plus minus.
It's in Gemini now. It will move into Cancer.
Okay?
Yes.
That is the position of the planet, but
Correct.
it shines on the Taurus, okay? Right? Because I search about that. Now, you see, when it comes to the shining upon, you see, the Jupiter is not exactly at the snake quadrant. The planet is not there. But the planet is opposite of the snake quadrant. So let me understand more, because Western astrology is his part. Gemini or Cancer, when you talk about, is it somewhere near the rooster?
It is
the monkey.
It is.
Is it near the 12 animal zodiac? The monkey?
It could be.
Yeah.
Yes, yep.
Because what I research is, okay, when the Jupiter is exactly at the rooster, okay, it will shine itself on the dragon, which is this year. So when this particular Jupiter moves to the monkey, okay, it will shine itself on the snake, which is at the Taurus or the snake position in Chinese zodiac itself. So when we talk about the position of the planet Jupiter, okay, and the animal sign that offends planet Jupiter, Bun Meng Lin, means let's say in snake year, means the planet Jupiter is not at the snake quadrant. It is at the opposite quadrant of the snake, which is the monkey quadrant. Just like full moon and new moon concept, okay? So yeah, I hope you can understand here. Example, okay, if I'm the sun, okay, if I'm the sun, and Kong Yu here is the earth. Now, if you find that, okay, the moon is at Coco's position, from the earth, you will see a new moon. Means you can't see the moon. Why? Because all the light of the sun has been blocked out. The reflections of whatever the light means, I'm shining on Coco, the reflection of the light of Coco cannot be seen on earth itself. That's why it's a new moon, no moon. You can't see the reflection of the light. But if this particular moon moves its way towards this direction, example, where this cushion is, where the head of Mocha is. Thank you, Mocha. Okay, right, playing along. So let's say, for instance, now the moon is in the opposite direction and I'm the sun. When I shine upon the moon, you can see a full moon. Because why? I'm opposite, okay, the moon direction. When I shine upon it, the reflection of the sun itself now can be seen on earth, the full reflection of it. Now that is understanding the same thing is with Taisoi. Okay, so whenever planet Jupiter is in the monkey, right, the snake will have full effect. It means the combination animal, okay, which is the opposite of it. So by this, right, okay, then we will understand, all right, the reflection of this Taisoi is the greatest, okay, on that particular year itself. Now, how is it going to impact us? Then why are people so afraid of it? Now, every time when you say you offend Taisoi, when you talk about like in a way offending Taisoi or clashing Taisoi or in harm with Taisoi or in destruction with Taisoi, right? Okay, it will affect us emotionally greatly. Now, how are we affected emotionally? Okay, how are we affected emotionally? It's because, okay, this Jupiter itself is the biggest planet in our entire solar system. So big, okay, that you know that I've talked about it. Among all the planets, planet Jupiter is the only planet have its center of gravity, or we call a barycenter, comparatively to the Earth and the planet itself, which it is so huge that you get the center of gravity outside. The center of the orbit is actually outside of the sun. The only planet, you can check, Google barycenter, okay, and you will understand this, all right? So therefore, when this particular big planet that can fit, if I'm not mistaken, 1,000 over planet Earth into Jupiter, okay? So when this particular planet, when it's so huge, and it goes into that particular quadrant of your animal sign, which is snake, one of it, next year, it will greatly trigger the energy of that planet. And if we are connected to that particular quadrant, if we have a snake in our chart or the rest of the animal signs that we have relations or have connections with the Grandit Jupiter, we will also greatly be affected by it emotionally. Well, it will trigger us left, right, center in whatever ways that this particular relationship is supposed to teach us, to guide us, or to test us. So overall, so you went up or down, boy? Okay. So overall, you will see that, okay, so whenever it comes to the Grandit Jupiter, since it's the biggest planet that have the grandest sort of like, in a way, impact on Earth itself, okay, it is supposed to be, okay, what we call a superior star. It is supposed to be a star, okay, or a planet or something or an energy that is supposed to, in a way, guide us. It is not supposed to be the elements that doom us. Now, in Chinese itself, right, okay, you say, it actually, I'll write it down just in case I've forgotten to share, right, okay, it says that Tai Sui is not a Hong San. It means that Tai Sui 不是凶神, okay, in fact, it is just a 守護神, means it's a protecting sort of like star or a guardian star, okay, it is something that is guiding us, it is helping us, directing us, okay, and therefore it is so big itself, right, okay, it will trigger a lot of lessons, a lot of like breakthroughs, a lot of like, in a way, like chances, okay, for elevations in our life itself, means to be better. Now, the thing is, I observed over the years, a lot of people, they are afraid. They are afraid of Grandit Jupiter, okay? They are afraid of the 5 yellow, all right? They are afraid of anything which in a way resembles the biggest star. As long as you see it's the biggest star, people runs away from it. People try to hide themselves away from it, which doesn't make sense, okay? To me, it just means, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you always ask people, be that superstar. You don't want to be just a star. You want to be a superstar. Superstar means it's like, it's biggest and the grandest, right? But if you want to be a superstar and yet you run away whenever the stars comes to you and lay or land into your palace, something is not right there. Then it makes me to recall back and recap back. I have gone through it. Probably some of you have before. I mean, for me, myself, okay, in my younger days or in my childhood days, right, okay, sitting for exams was never my things, okay? More so ever, if you want to talk about sitting for major exams, I'm not sure, maybe he's anticipating it, okay? He's the alien here, okay, because he's the one who gets straight A's, okay, not me, all right? But actually, I'm curious.
What?
Were you anticipating the big exams?
Anticipating?
As in, like, you're so, like, in a way, excited and waiting, oh my God, the big exams is coming. I mean, try to recall back in your teenagehood or whatever. Do you actually anticipate it? Or do you actually, in a way, fearful about it? But let's say, for instance, you have no choice but to sit for it, then might as well you just excel in it. So which was, I'm not sure. Some of you probably can share with me.
But I mean, I've always been very into learning, right? So as long as I was interested in the subject, which was more, for example, I mean, when it was more general and it was a lower level subject, obviously it's easy to be interested. But the higher up you go, of course, you have to then differentiate between what is truly interesting, what really captivates you, and so on. So then I became much more picky in terms of which subjects I wanted to study, right?
No, the question is,
So yes, the question, getting to the answer to that, right? So the higher level it went to, so the more there was that dread, the dread, a little bit of that. And the lower levels, it was up to maybe SPM and everything. It was more of an anticipation
oh
towards
my
the exam. Yeah.
God. I would have never been friend with him if we were at the same school
Yeah, it
at
was
that time.
up to only SPM. lah. Then after that, of course, it becomes very specialized knowledge. So then we go to whatever specialized knowledge that we're doing, including Chinese metaphysics.
For
right?
me, it's always like, come on, I come to school for fun.
You
Okay, I
have
learn
to-
as well, but I never anticipated exam.
Yes.
Come on, those of you who are following us live here. I mean, how many of you are like him? Or more of you are like me? When it comes to exam, it's like, oh my God, Erica, Sheila, okay, all right, you have 1 point here. It's like a Squid Game voting time, right?
But to be clear, I
Damn.
don't always anticipate exams, right? Only when I'm really drawn into the subject, I would have more propensity and more likelihood to be very into the exam. Yes.
I couldn't believe it. How on earth? Why would there be people who anticipate exams? Okay, now I really remember this. This like triggered my memory. You know, back in like those old days, in like Sifu Joey's time, right? Okay, I remember I was in the class, Sifu Joey's time, and all that. You know, he have given me a lot of opportunities. Okay, he really gave me a lot of platforms. Okay, to grow myself, whatever. But in the class, you know, I always sit at the back, at the corner. Okay, just leave me alone. And I always tell Sifu one thing. Don't ask me questions in the class. Never. I think you remember that, right? Don't ask me questions in the class. So to me, it's like, I will run away, okay, from all this sort of like so-called examinations or anything that anyone, anything, anyhow, got the chance to judge you. Okay, so I'm running away from that. But nowadays, it's like, then I understand it's like why majority of the people are afraid of grandeur. It's just the same mentality and psychology that I used to have. They run away from all this big major thing that has a chance, okay, to in a way, how to say, not to say judge, evaluate is a better name, okay? So evaluate you to see whether you deserve a higher level or thing or not, okay? My style, last minute studies, yeah. Last minute study only because we have no choice, you know. If I have a choice that, okay, I can fail all my exams, it's like I don't even bother to study, all right? But the thing is, okay, you see, we are running away from anything that has a chance to evaluate us and propels us higher, okay? Generally, as a human being, psychologically. So that is also the reason why we are running away from the most supreme, strongest stars, planets, elements that also have a chance to help us, to guide us, and also to propel us higher in our life itself, energetically, spiritually as well, okay? So based on that, you see, I understand. And of course, when people has this psychology and you know outside in the business world, okay, psychology sells, okay? There's a lot of like, in a way, psychology sort of like selling or marketing going on. Because what you're afraid most is a weak point, is a penetration point. When you have a weak point, it's a penetration point. It's a point where people can enter into the market in a way to sell you something. Because the more you're afraid of it, the more and the easier it can sell, okay? So therefore, you will see that, of course, okay, from the temper perspective and all that, I understand how it works, okay? It's so much easier, okay, to actually tell people, oh, just do this or just be afraid of this, okay? Or do something for the Tai Sui to appease it, to subdue it, or else something bad will happen to you. Right? And that is the thing, okay, that in a way that triggers more and more over, of course, you talk about hundreds and hundreds of years later, there will be more fear rather than a proper understanding about what this particular grandeur is all about, okay? So generally, okay, if you understand that, okay, then the next thing is, of course, we'll see what are the animal signs that is impacted, okay, by the Grand Duke, okay, right, this year. But before we go into that, let's understand about this particular Grand Duke sayings over the years first. Now, there's a lot of Chinese sayings of Grand Duke, okay, if you can see here, all right, thanks to Nicole as well, right, because last minute I need some slides, so this is how she put in the slides for me, okay. Now, it's all in Chinese, I understand. I'm going to translate it, okay. So over the years itself, okay, especially these are the verses that we use a lot in the temple, okay, or during our sharings of like annual talks about Grand Duke, okay, or Tai Sui. And if you hear a lot like Taiwan masters, if you hear a lot about Hong Kong masters, they will often, most of the time, okay, maybe not all the time, but I would say in fact most of the time, okay, they will utter some of these words, okay. They say Tai Sui Tong Tao Zhuo, Mo Hei Hong Yao Wo. Okay, that's the first words, the top one. Then after that, okay, it actually evolved into Tai Sui Tong Tao Zhuo, Mo Fuk Hong Yao Wo. Okay, then it evolved some more into Tai Sui Tong Tao Zhuo, okay, Mo Hei Bit Yao Wo. And then after that, it has evolved also. You can see, you can Google, you can search about it. And it evolved more into Tai Sui Tong Tao Zhuo, Mo Joy Bit Yao Wo. Because it rhymes. Joy War, it means disastrous, okay? It rhymes together. Right? So therefore, you will see that a lot of people are 口頭禪. They say that this is something that utter out. 太歲當頭坐，無災必有禍. Yes, it means that every time when it comes to 太歲, it becomes bad, disastrous, catastrophe, everything bad about it. But let's come to think about, in the classics, it says that 太歲當頭坐，無喜恐有禍. Now, the difference here is 恐怕 or 必定. Right? The two different Chinese words is 恐有禍 means it's like maybe, perhaps, okay? 無喜 means if there's no celebrations, there's no something that you, in a way, likely to celebrate, 喜事, okay? Something to be cheerful about, something to celebrate, something to, in a way, be happy about, then maybe or perhaps there will be disaster. There will be problem, there will be chaos. And the second word is safe, okay? If there's like, in a way, whenever the 太歲 in a way, 當頭坐 means, how to say, impact you, lays on you, upon you, okay? Right? 無福, it means you don't. 福 means prosperity, okay? You don't have prosperity, you don't prosper. Prosper means what? Breakthrough or growth. You become more prosperous. Like me, over the years, means that you grow from maybe like 60 kg to 80 to near 90 kg. That's prosperous, right? It means growth. So it says here, 無福恐有禍. It means that when the 太歲 lays upon you, it says that, okay, if you do not have prosperity, means you don't grow and prosper, okay, maybe or perhaps there will be chaos, okay, or problem or trouble. And then after that, it evolved, okay? You know, you have seen the games that people play, where you have a line of people and you pass one message, just one sentence, from the beginning, the head of that particular like a line, to the end of the line, the message come out most of the time or all the time distorted, okay? So then it evolved, it says that 太歲當頭坐，無喜必有禍. Now the major change has come in here. So now it says that if you have no celebrations, nothing to celebrate about, then you will surely, right, have problem. Now here of one word, it changes the whole entire meaning. From perhaps or maybe, it goes to surely have problem or catastrophe or chaos. All right, and of course, lastly, it evolved into the most impactful of fear, means that say, 太歲當頭坐，無災必有禍. Okay, it means that if you don't have disaster, you will have disaster. Okay, if you don't have like disasters, means natural disasters, 你會闖禍. 闖禍 means it's like either something punish you, okay, all right, okay, 災禍, okay, or you will have like in a way get yourself into some shit, okay, that you will suffer from it. It means that you either have shit or have shit in your life itself. Now, this greatly impact the changes, okay, in the understanding of grandeur. And this one, as it evolved over the years and over the years itself, right, the fear of understanding the true impact of grandeur have greatly, in a way, changed. All right? So therefore, our job, I would say calling is to try to understand, research about all these things and try to bring its understanding to more people, okay, so that more people can understand the meaning and the purpose of grandeur, right, prepare for it, overcome it, learn from it, take it as a guiding star, okay, for its wisdom and light, okay, so that we can, in a way, elevate ourselves, okay. So therefore, so that we can have, of course, something to celebrate about and to prosper whenever this biggest planet, okay, in our entire solar system lands its energy on Earth. That's when we can tap the most, okay. So therefore, okay, the point is, firstly, do not be afraid of the Tai Sui anymore. And secondly, now we need to know what is the meaning of the grandeur. What is the meaning of it? What is the lesson? What is the wisdom behind it? What are the things we have to prepare ourselves, okay, and how to propel ourselves further to elevate our energy so that every time we go through the Tai Sui year, we have something to celebrate about and we have something to prosper, okay, and also to break through. All right, okay. So then, okay, we go into the animal signs, okay, that will be affected, okay, by this year itself, okay. So overall, you know that, okay, this year we talk about 4 animal signs. That is the grouping of the Tai Sui, okay, the 4 animal signs, which is the grouping of the Tai Sui. And this year itself, of course, the year of the snake. And the snake belongs to these 4 animal signs, which we call them the growth star. If you are into parts of Chinese metaphysics, you know there are 3 groupings. The first grouping is the growth star, which is this next year, 2025, okay, part of the snake. And then we also have the cardinal or peach blossom stars, okay, which is like the Zi Mao Yao, means the rat, the horse, okay, the rabbit, and also the rooster, right? And then we also have the graveyards, okay, or the what we call, okay, the graveyards, okay, or what we call is like the storage, okay, which are all the 4 graveyard or storage, which is the dragon. When we have the dog, we have the goat, and also the ox. So this year or next year, 2025, we talk about these 4 animal signs. Now, generally, you will see that whenever this animal sign comes in, it means that it's shining its greatest light upon you, okay? And next year is a snake, okay? It's the year of the snake itself. And the purpose of the snake, remember, every year we need prosperity, okay, or celebrations. Prosperity means breakthrough. You break your old record. Okay, that's prosperity. That's how you become prosperous. Because if you stay the same stagnant every year, if your bank account stays like having like, in a way, just like 100,000 every year in your bank account, never changes over the years, that's not prosperity. Okay, there's no breakthrough. So therefore, every of this breakthrough star, okay, is supposed to help us to break through. But what aspect? When we look into it, everything is breakthrough, but breakthrough from what aspect? So we look at the snake, okay? The snake itself, of course, in the snake, the main element inside the snake is the ping fire, okay? So therefore, looking into the ping fire itself, okay, the breakthrough means what? Shining through. So you know that 2025 generally is the rising of the sun, rising of the fire, rising of what we call the Kundalini energy, okay? It is the rising, shining off, bringing something rising above so that people can seize you, people notice you, people can see you from afar. That is shining through. Now take a look at tiger, which is part of the growth star. Okay, the growth star, tiger is a wood star. The main chi is a jiak wood inside it. Okay, so when you have a jiak wood inside the tiger, okay, generally this growth star is supposed to help you to break through. But break through what? Through breaking apart. Breaking apart means that, okay, in order for us to grow, we have to break apart. In order for a plant or a tree to grow, it has to stretch itself, okay, to grow to a, in a way, a bigger. You have to stretch. In order for us to build our 6 packs, it's also the same thing. We have to stretch and break apart the muscle. Thaw it first. Let it heal. It becomes thicker. That's how we build our muscle. All right, so in order for us to grow, okay, right, over time itself, we have to tear something, okay, and then in a way, heal from it or regrow from it or recalibrate from it so that it becomes thicker and stronger. So tiger tells us that breaking through, okay. So now we have monkey. Now this is important because it's not only useful only for next year's snake year, because if you are a practitioner, okay, every time you go through the 4 growth star, right, now you know that a specific focus point that you can focus on. And monkey is all about what? Monkey is metal element, Keng metal. Keng metal is all about action and decision, okay? It's impactful. It's all about taking action. So it's also about breaking through. But breaking through what? Striving through. Striving through means what? There's a lot of action, charging, in a way, cutting whatever that goes in your way, all right, in order for you to, in a way, push through. In other words, resolve whatever that is like tying or bonding you or stagnating you, okay, that is striving through. And of course, the pig itself governs by the main chi of water or rainwater, okay. So you have a main chi of a rainwater itself, okay, and that is when we call about levering through. Well, so far she bring all the 4 animal signs already. Because actually this part, it's okay, bring it out.
1,
okay?
2, 3, there's
No
one
wonder-
more left.
I was like, how come?
Okay, wait, are we leveling through?
Yeah,
Yes.
how come everyone is like, wow, so cute? It's like putting like, like laughing emoji, and then I look, it's like, oh, the whole animal sign is out. Okay, all right, good. Okay, so now the pig itself
One
with
more.
the main chi. Okay, the main chi is a rainwater. Rainwater
here we
is
go.
all about leveling up. Right? Rainwater is all about leveling up. Leveling up means what? Leveling up means, in Chinese we call it 升le. You level up. You levering through circumstances, levering through others. Levering means that we are leveraging through something. Okay, that is the pig. So now, once you understand this, you have a deeper understanding, or more, I would say, mastery into the 4 growth star. You understand this 4 growth star. Every one of it is growth star. But remember, if you delve deeper, every growth star has its purpose. Like you say, we are all human, right? Okay, you can categorize, okay, there are tigers, there are snakes, there are monkeys, there are pigs around, and we are all human. You, me, Nicole, Kong Yu, Amy, Virus, Big Chen, every one of us is human. But every single human has its sole purpose. Our purpose is different, right? Your purpose could be different from my purpose, could be different from Virus' purpose, could be different from Rave Rate purpose. Everyone's purpose is different. So the same thing is when you see a parter chart, you have 4 growth star. So all this is a growth star, but every single growth star serves a different purpose, right? It has a different purpose. It has a different focus point for them to in no way function upon. All right, so if we understand this, then clearly we know, okay, now we bring out the rest of the animal side. Everyone, okay, remove them first, okay? We'll show them again later because it gets a bit crowded, okay? All right, okay. So now, okay, so once we understand this, now we want to delve deeper into, okay, the 2025, okay, Yitzer or the snake year, okay? And in order for us to delve into what are the animal signs, okay, that are so-called offending the Tai Shui or triggered by the Tai Shui or the Granite Jupiter in 2025, okay? So in order to do that itself, okay, then we also need to understand the relationship of this animal sign with us or to the Granite Tai Shui. Okay, so we see onto this next particular slides. All right. So this sharing itself, I'm just going to briefly tell you that remember, every year, every animal sign that represents a Tai Shui, for instance, next year is a snake. And every time you have an animal sign there, you have a lot of relationship, okay, that will in a way interact with the snake. And this relationship in a way comprises of this grouping. Either you have a combination, or you have a clash or counter, in other words, for a clash is counter, okay? Or you have a destruction, or you have a harm, or you have different kinds of punishments, okay? So overall, it is just these groupings.
Yes.
Now, so
that grouping itself is actually for everything, and it's for all earthly branches except for counter. It's more of a heavenly stem term, right? Just to clarify that, because I think it's not quite...
therefore, the purpose is this, counter or clash used interchangeably. Generally, it's the same thing. It's a clash, okay? It's a clash. But overall, you will see that, okay? On the heavenly stem, okay, it means in our parter chart, whatever we see on the heavenly stem, there are only 2 possible relationship or interactions. It means on the heavenly stem, either you have combination or either you have clash. That's all. Okay, or counter, whatever you want to call it, okay, on the heavenly stem. It means every time anything that appears on the heavenly stem, you just have a combination. Now, combinations means there's some magic that's going to produce out of it. Every time combinations, there's magic happening. It means that, let's say for instance, let's say next year is a Yi and a Geng. Yi and Geng combines, okay, to produce what? More metal. Okay, so that is deeper. Let's not go into that. If you know, you know. So what it means combination is the magic. Right? It's the ultimate thing that we want to achieve. Okay, that's why from the olden days up to now, people loves combination. People dislike so much of like clash or destructions or harms or punishment. Okay, because combinations create magic. A third element is going to produce out of it. All right, so therefore it's combination. Now, heavenly stem only very in a way clear. There's no confusion. Either combine and create magic or it clash you. That's it. All right, so that's on the heavenly stem. But on the earthly branches is where the confusions comes in. lower energy. Heavenly stem, you can talk about planets, all these things, the natural law, okay, the law of the universe, okay, those of you been to my soul journey, we know we talk about that. Or you can talk about ascended masters, the gods are, deities are, angels are, all these are under the realm of the heavenly stem. So heavenly stems are very straightforward, simple, no confusion. Either magic happens or punishment happens, means it clash you. That's it, okay? So therefore, there's no right or wrong. I mean, natural disaster, all these things, a typhoon and all that is a heavenly stem thing. It needs to happen. The world have gone through of so many times, okay, if not mistaken, at least 4 times, okay, of what? Like going into what we call the end of the world. The world have ended numerous times in history, and the latest one was the dinosaur era. The whole world just gone into extinction, right? That is heavenly stem, counter. That is what they need to happen. But after that, magic will continue to happen because the growth will continue on. So earthly branches here is destruction, harms, and punishment. It just means that these are the things that earthly people, the earthlings, humans like you and me, have to overcome, learn, elevate ourselves. Means all these destructions, harms, or punishments, okay, is the lessons of humans having something that we have not learned that still bothers us emotionally, that triggers us to make actions that subsequently put us back into the same old thing. That we cannot struggle to, in a way, elevate ourselves or break ourselves out of it. All right? So therefore, when we understand this, then we know that every year, when the Grand Duke be upon certain animal sign, those animal sign is supposed to teach us those lessons. It's like a test, an exam that comes to us so that hopefully if we understand what is the purpose of the exam, we can pass it. Okay, it's like now we have like what we call those questions. It's not leak questions, but you have those, you know.
Past years?
Yeah, past years questions or targeted. I think past years questions is good. Because people from the past, they have obviously passed this exam before. They know the answer to it. Right, our standard masters, people with like a lot of wisdoms, okay? Our great forefathers, they have passed it. That's why we have in human histories ascended masters that we call them as like the wise ones. And these people have passed it, so now we learn from them, okay? So therefore, when we understand this, now you know that the Grand Duke merely comes in, okay, to teach us or to put us into sitting for these exams. And the more you run away from it, right, okay, you just wait a matter of time, okay, because after a few years, or after the most you can in a way avoid is 12 years. After 12 years, the main animal sign will come. But after a few years, the grouping of the animal sign will come again. So every time, okay, you will go back into the karmic cycle of looping again and again and again, all right, in a never-ending quest. So therefore, okay, this time round, we talk about the snake. Remember, next year, if you have a snake in your chart, right, the ultimate lessons and the learnings for you is shining through, okay? Now, if your life itself, you're still away, it's like, you know, filled with like how to say, shame, okay, or shine through. I cannot even like speak up in front of people, okay? I cannot even do Facebook. I cannot imagine, okay, switching on my camera and let people see me and see my face and I talk in front of it. A lot of people cannot do this. A lot of people are afraid of their own light, okay? They are afraid of their own, like, sort of like capability, their own magic, their own power, okay? Their own outstanding, okay, skills and gift set. So if you're afraid of this, when the snake shines upon you, which is next year Grand Duke, okay, you have a big problem, all right? Because the lessons is about shining through, and you cannot allow yourself to shine. You have to mute your voice so that you speak softer than others. You're so afraid that people will hear your truth that you, in a way, subconsciously, okay, from deliberately muting yourself to a subconsciously autopilot mode of to, in a way, say things that is so, how to say, so confusing or so like in a way difficult to listen. You know, that's why you see some people, they murmur over things that they just, they say something as if like, what the heck are you talking about? All right, you cannot hear them clearly, right? You cannot like in a way listen to them. They want to order something also, right? Your waiter or your waitresses have to like, a few times, all right? Or in a more civilized places, they will say, I beg your pardon and beg you for a few times, right? Until you get your message across. If that's the case, you have a problem with the snake. You want to add on anything more?
No, I was just saying that, you know, every time we go through a year, that's why understanding the basics. I know many of you watching now, of course, have some level of that because you've been following us and because we do talk quite deeply. If not, we just get to the core of the issue or the study or the learning for that particular topic, right? So many of you are familiar with this. So that's why understanding just the grouping, okay, of which of the Tai Sui animal sign that it falls under. Like, for example, this year the snake is all related to growth, right? Growth or lack thereof, or a measure of a yardstick of how much you have grown, or vice versa, right? How much you have remained stagnant, right? So that's why understanding that is very important, because when you go into that, then you have the whole idea of what the year activation is all about, right? It's all about testing this.
Yeah.
And then, of course, within that, if you understand the groupings of the animal signs as well that fall into that group, like for example, this year, right, the snake, the pig, the tiger, and also the monkey, then you're also able to appreciate the nuances of the growth issue or the challenges that come up,
Yeah.
right, in relation to the animal sign that is the Tai Sui itself, or anything that it directly affects more, the activations according to this, right, the earthly branch, destructions, harms, punishments, and of course the combinations and the clashes also.
Yeah, and I would say that out of the 4 breaking truths, right, okay, shining through is one of the most important one, is because it's like, that is the animal sign, okay, or the Tai Sui to in a way let us learn our own radiance of energy. Right, you see, a lot of people cannot shine. You see, you cannot shine through. That's when you suffer from like bullying punishment. You see people bullies you. You will eventually, in a way, like resent, like you have no voice. Okay, it's not fair. The world is not fair. People are suppressing you. It's not that people are suppressing us, nor they are bullying us or whatsoever nonsense. Okay, it's just that we cannot shine.
Right.
We cannot bring ourselves upon to be the best functional, in a way, like element of that element. All right. So, for instance, it's like we are given a mouth to eloquently, is that the word? Okay, eloquently communicate, right? To talk, to communicate, to in a way persuade. Okay, that is the mouth, to speak the truth. Okay, but we deliberately, in a way, or subconsciously over the time, due to our own fear, we rather not. Okay, we were given the arms and the legs to as a motor function skill. Okay, to be in a way, how to say to be like. Functional. Okay, this is our auto function skills. Okay, we have fingers. The dogs don't have fingers. Okay, they cannot do a lot of things that human can do. All right, we have all these things is because now we are supposed to be on a higher supreme level of functionality in terms of our motor skill, of our bodily function. But how many of us here, even with hands and legs, that we cannot fully utilize it? When we do things, we are so clumsy that sometimes you can see that, of course, in documentary or in YouTubes and all that, you will see there are so many people, they are amputated or whatsoever due to some health issues, right? They have no arms, no legs, and yet they can function in their daily life so much better comparatively to many people who are fully, in a way, how to say, physically, in a way, form. So if that is the case, means we cannot shine. Okay, we are not allowing ourselves to shine. We can see, and yet we choose to live in denial. All right, and yet there are so many people who are blinded there. I mean, I have some of my followers in my private group asking me, how can I tune in? Do you have slides? Because she's deaf, she can't hear. Right, so okay, in a way, thankfully now technologies, you will see if you turn down the volume, okay, the auto captions will come out. So it's not stopping her. You see, she can't hear, but yet she wants to tune in. She wants to find out, okay, if there's any, in a way, like flashes of sights or whatever, so she can see and understand and learn rather than just listening. Right? So if we are fully functioning, but how many of us with eyes and yet we can't see? Okay? Right? So these are the things. Fully functioning means it's like, let's say you have a job, and there's supposed to be a job. You can have a diploma in it. You can even have a degree in it. But are you functioning to the best shining, I would say, like level of your job? Or are you in a way rusty? You don't even like in a way put in so much effort to ensure that your functionality in terms of your job scope is at a shining level. If that's the case, okay, this year's Grandeur or 2025 Grandeur, the snake shining through is going to in a way punish you. Punish you in the sense of what? Because it's not supposed to punish you, it's supposed to teach you that lesson until you shine. Okay, so you will feel more. If you are not shining, it means you feel more bullied, you feel more suffocated, you feel more suppressed. All these feelings will come to you. Okay, right? You feel that things are unfair, people betrays you, whatsoever, because you're not shining through. You're not fully radiating as your fullest self. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, for you to in a way understand it. All right. So now, okay, Right, that now, so therefore, okay, for those of you with a snake in your chart, it means that generally, because you will be tested left, right, center, is the major energy. So emotionally, the more you have run away, okay, from lessons, the more back debts that you have, okay, the more fear you have within yourself, okay, so emotionally in 2025, the harder lesson is going to be. So every time these lessons comes in, that in a way trigger you emotionally, it means it's telling you something within us, we are still subjective to fear. We are still afraid. We are not taking full responsibility. We are not shining ourselves as we are supposed to be. Okay, that's why you feel it. Because if you do it, you won't feel it. In fact, for those of you who are ready, you make all these breakthroughs. You are not afraid of the limelight. You are not afraid of the magical like spotlight or whatever. Okay, next year is your year. If you have a snake in your chart, it's the best timing for you, okay, to really accelerate, okay, and really, in a way, propel you to the next level because everyone can see you, right? Because the biggest energy now is shining upon you. Imagine now it's like in a world of darkness where people is blinded, and suddenly you have this like super mega spotlight in a way shining upon your group of people who are ready with a snake in their chart, okay? So it will be like, seriously, this will be the best year for you, okay? And seize the opportunity, make it your best ever.
Yeah,
all right?
that's why as well when we analyze it deeper into the stars of the year, right? The stars that are in the snake sector, in particular, then you can also see more clues there, right? And a lot of it generally point to, in terms of the auspicious stars, in terms of problem solving, right? So having the mastery and the skills and the talents and also the practice and the expertise of being able to solve problems. So that is the way to shine, right, for 2025. We see that layer as well. And then at the same time,
Yeah, bring in the snake.
you talk about the interactions or the possibilities of the snake, of course, interacting within its group, which is again a big key, a big sign of the growth or the lack of growth, which will be a measure, right? Are you afraid to grow? Are you growing enough, or have you really been not growing enough and remained stagnant? So then you will feel more of the, again, the earthly branch destruction, the punishment, and also the harm, right? And you see that also if you examine it deeper, they all stay within the same group of the 4 animal signs which are affected, generally called offending Grand Duke. They all stay within the 4.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to last year, you see that, for example, the dragon harms the rabbit, which is not part of the earth animal signs, right? Not part of the graveyard sign. So that gives us another layer to it, which means whatever feelings it is, right? In this case, we're focusing on the snake, and Jesse's term for it for 2025 is shining through. So anything that holds us back from that, anything that we restrict ourselves, whether it's due to lack of development, lack of growth, or the inability to do so because of whatever reasons, due to fear, due to shame, due to guilt, right? Then there's the issue that will be triggered. And then when we look into the element, into what possibilities come from the element of the snake and what it could possibly in a way combine with and transform into, then we see that a lot of it, there are a couple of energy transformation which are possible, right, depending on the combination, that basically combine away the fire. And it's the only animal sign, that is the snake I'm talking about, that has that chance of doing that.
Yeah.
It means you lose the fire.
Yes.
The fire is gone, right? In a key couple of ways, activating with the rooster, for example, and we're talking about within the 4 Grand Duke activated animals, it will be with the snake.
Yeah.
The snake with the
monkey.
monkey, yes. Right? So that's again transforming to water.
Yeah.
Right? So fire, which is like such a vibrant, such an important element and all about the ability to shine light, right, can also be in such a vulnerable position that the light is gone and the light is disappeared.
Yeah.
It's transformed
It takes away the light.
It takes
Yeah.
away the light. So that just by looking into these details, you see, right? So that key test of are we able to, if we're affected directly by the Grand Duke, which we all are, because it's the annual energy,
Yep.
will be the test to what the snake will bring in.
Yeah, plus you see, don't get me wrong, when I say shining through, it's like, some people is like, then again, out of the fear of missing out, there's like suddenly they want to become that superstar.
superstar,
You see,
right.
really, shining through
Yes.
means is like wherever we are, whatever stage that we are, we slowly allow this fire within us to come out. Okay, it's not like suddenly, okay, all this while no fire and suddenly the fire comes out, it will be an explosion, all right, that's quite disastrous. You have to slowly allow this fire to come out from you, okay? So remember, the shining through means is like the moment we break through, that we overcome that weakness about like being afraid to, communicate effectively, okay? When we take in the effort to, in a way, do things more like, effectively, okay? all this is shining through, okay, because we becomes a better versions of ourselves in terms of our own functionality and also our own capability, okay, that is shining through already. All right, so besides the snake itself, of course, we go into the next animal sign, which is clashing with the snake. All right, so we talk about the clashing with the snake first, and of course the snake and also the pig is a clash. And again, a lot of times, okay, right, see, people are so afraid every time it comes to this, especially like Tai Shui and all that, right? Okay. Now, always remember, okay, when it comes to Tai Shui, there's two things, okay, that is like differentiate the thing. When you see it with fear or you see it with respect, okay? Just like the same thing. You see your great-great-grandfather with fear or you see your great-great-grandfather with respect. We're supposed to look into like the great king, okay, in our time, or the emperor with like respect, or we see them as fear. So generally, okay, originally, we're supposed to look up into this grand, how to say, powerful things with respect. Okay, we respect. That's how we started. We respect the sun. We respect our ruler. We respect our leader. We respect our parents. Okay, it's supposed to be respect. But nowadays, okay, the world have changed. So instead of respect, it becomes a fear. Okay, it's always a fear, as in like, yeah, now I have to fear you first because I can't do anything. But you wait, one day when I can do something, I'm not going to fear you anymore. That is fear. That is not respect. Okay, so when it comes to Tai Shui, remember, it always, in a way, we should respect it so that we can learn from it. They can guide us with their wisdom. But if we always face all this particular big, grandiose style with fear, okay, we will never be able to learn from it. So now talk about the pig. The pig is a clash. All right. So when we talk about clash itself, of course, clash means what? A lot of like changes, okay? Right? Movements, okay? Some things in our life supposed to change. It can be like, you know, moving house, changing job, okay? Changing partners or whatever it is, okay? As long as it's a clash. A clash means something do not stay the same anymore, okay? So those things, I mean, it's general clash from the previous years, okay? You can listen back so you understand the meaning and also the relationship between the clash. Now, what I want to amplify here means, okay, this year is, remember, the snake and the pig is a different relationship, okay? Even though it's a clash, but those of you who know Ba Zi, you know that this clash itself is the most minimal or a non-impactful clash, okay? As long as the fire is there, this clash is an amplifying clash, okay? Why? Because it's like whenever you see the sun reflected on a big pool of water, either the sea or a big lake itself, okay? So this sun, the power of the sun becomes amplified. It becomes hotter, it becomes greater, okay? So therefore, you see, you go to the seaside, when the sun is shining, okay, it's like, in a way, radiating, okay, its energy onto the surface of the sea, which acts now like a mirror. It amplifies this energy. So a lot of people are afraid of like, oh, snake year and pig is going to be clash, okay, it's going to be bad or whatever, okay? Remember, this is not going to be bad unless you're not ready. Unless you're full of fear, unless you're not getting yourself ready. For if you're entrepreneur, you have like learned all your lessons, you're not afraid, okay, of like, in a way, taking risks because you see everything happens for a reason. If you're ready spiritually for things, right, okay, snake and also a pig clash here, okay, this particular clash means that it amplifies, okay, whatever magnitude of things that you want to achieve. You can talk about wealth, you can talk about success, you can talk about prosperity. It helps you to amplify it. So those of you with a pig in your chart, or if you are like yesterday, okay, right, this is like a group of friends, okay, so family members, okay, right, I have two citrine pigs. Why citrine? Because it's wealth, okay, and you know, I allow, okay, people to adopt, okay, these crystals, okay, especially the special ones are for people who somehow I feel that these things can match with their energy and it can benefit them, all right? So then, of course, okay, I'm like proudly and gratefully, in a way, says that the two citrine pigs has been adopted. And of course, the concern is pig, and next year is a snake. Is it a clash? No. Right? Yes, generally it's a clash, but then when you're ready, because I allow you to adopt it, it means that some energy within you are ready for bigger things, okay? Some energy within you are ready for that explosions of things, okay? That big bang shining through means that suddenly, like everyone sees you, okay? That amplifying of the fire, okay? So it means that this particular clash, if you have a pig in your chart and you're ready for it, next year in 2025 itself is your year, okay, to double up. Okay, to like maximize your potential, to double up the success, okay, that you already have. Now in Chinese, we call this 发扬光大. Okay, right? In Chinese, we know it's like we always heard that this word is 发扬光大. Okay, 发扬光大 means it's like in a way. What do you have that list? Yeah, can you put the 发扬光大? Okay, the clash. Yeah, okay. So in Chinese, there's these words, okay, called 发扬光大. Okay, 发扬光大 means words like carry forward. Now, this one ChatGPT helped me to, in a way, translate. Carry forward and amplify, promote and enhance, bring to greater heights, glorify and expand. This is the relationship between the snake and the pig. Okay, it means that now you amplify. Okay, yes, amplifying your light. So if you have a pig in your chart, okay, but provided you're ready, you are not all still filled with fear. You know, there's still plenty of people out there is filled with fear. But you know, when we interact with like those top entrepreneurs, these are the people you see, they are always the solutions to the problem. They are never the problem to a solution. Okay, if that's the case, the pig will help you to, in a way, how to say, amplify whatever existingly that you have. So if you have this level of light, okay, with the pig in the chart itself, or the pig that you have, okay, in your chart encounter, it will double up, okay, the energy. That is the meaning of the clash. Okay, so therefore, you know that traditionally, the snake and the pig clash, okay, it's always, in a way, it's like almost nothing like a clash. Okay, so you're not afraid when something amplifies your fire. But like Kong Yu puts it, okay, you put it into the 4 animal sign, okay, the slides, right? So in a way, the only thing that we are afraid is when you have an animal sign to come in, okay, to take away your light, to take away your fire. So the next one, we talk about the monkey.
All right, and then just to conclude as well on the pig, so there's an amplification effect, right, that's going on, which is very unique to the clash. So first of all, just to add a little bit, I mean, we know it's a clash, so it's going to come with changes, movement, and the ability to embrace those. And we know that there is, in a way, there is a bit of the antagonistic element to it, right? So obviously, rise to the challenge, right? That is one of the key phrases, right? Rise to the challenge of the amplification, because you're going to have an amplification on either the yang side, which means the generally more positive side, or an amplification of more of the yin side, which is less positive, more uncomfortable, and maybe at the end of the day, it's just pointing us to the level of preparation, level of empowerment, level of readiness overall, right? So that's why there will be a double up whammy effect, right? So hopefully I'll be able to embrace it and work it towards the positive side. But I think one of the things to be realistic about is that it will come with a degree of challenge, because that's where you're able to then have the ability to prove, you know, doubling up, right? Either your ability and generally your ability to shine.
Yeah. Okay. Now everything comes with challenge.
a challenge.
And, everything, right? Because generally you know that next year is the groupings of growth. So generally the granite tells you that it is a year of growth, because the granite represents the energy of growth. All right. So therefore, it's like we need to go along with the energy, to go with the flow. Okay, so the flow is about growth, so we have to grow. So when things are growing and if we are not growing, we stay stagnant, then we will be left behind. So therefore, it is the beginning of the separations that will happen. Okay, so once we know that the energy is grow, okay, so we have to continue to grow with it. So as long as we are ready to grow, okay, then we have no problem. Okay, so therefore remember, okay, when this clash comes in, as Kong Yu has put it, it is nothing is seriously easy. Seriously, I mean, in a way, all right. But if you have the fire within you, things is not that hard after all. Okay, it becomes a passion. It is something that it becomes like something that you're looking forward to. Like Kong Yu is looking forward for his exam.
No longer. Up to age 17.
Okay.
But
All right.
I think it's also, I think one of the most fundamental things is to just remind ourselves that, we cannot grow and without, leaving our comfort zone, right? We cannot grow without at least some sense that comes hand in hand with the package of some level of discomfort. Right? Because if we want things to be just comfortable and we just want things to be safe and secure and like how it's always been, that's a sign of no growth.
Yeah.
And that is what the year 2025, the whole grouping of the activation led by the snake is all about.
This is not part of the animal sign, by the way. Dog is not involved next year. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now, we talk about the next, animal sign, which is the monkey. And monkey comes into the relationship of a destruction and also an ungrateful punishment. Let's talk about the destruction first.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And also a combination.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So
Yeah, yeah. Monkey is also a combination.
It is a very, very unique arrangement to the year, right? And by and large, that also gives us a very big level of the understanding, right, how best to actually work with the Grand Duke, and overall how best to actually work with the year itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you start with the monkey.
Okay, so we've got the monkey in. Okay.
Yeah, the monkey has been there for some time.
Yeah, and reappearing, right? And a lot of people are having fun enjoying the animals,
Yeah.
which are showing up as well. Okay, so the monkey is a very unique relationship with the snake because it not only basically has the two uncomfortable earthly branch interactions going on, right, which is the destruction and also part of the ungrateful punishment, right, punishment arrangement, but it's also a combination. Right, so that's why we got 3 layers which are going on, which again tell a very strong red flag sign and so on, right? That this is really an impactful year, right, from these particular levels, and also particularly for any one of these 2 animal signs, especially if they are both appearing in any chart, right? Whether it's within your parts or within your parts with the luck pillar, and then also interacting with the annual pillar, right? And this is where again the opportunities come with also a series of tests, right? Whether it is a different level of growth, whether it is a growth-oriented a trigger that will take place, right? A combination coming together between 2 parties, coming together between one aspect of your life with another aspect, right? So that's where the combination is. And by virtue of it producing water, so it is also then a test to how strong, right, one's fire is, right? One's ability to shine, especially since the Grand Duke carries with it the shining through theme overall, right? Because of the possible resultant water, which can of course take away the shine of the fire that is with the snake sign itself. Right, so that's one layer. And then of course with that, we have the destruction that is also taking place, right? So the coming together and then the breakage of it, right? And how does this apply? Of course, it really depends on the situation and circumstances. But if you were to just generalize it, then we see that there is an opportunity to bring in new things, to collaborate, to welcome new things, to joint venture. But there's also opportunity or high chance of breakups, right? Similarly, within the same groupings that are coming together, or within the old and the new, for example, right? Whatever that's pre-existing may change. Whatever that is new may also be undergoing the destruction itself, right? Again, pointing to the potential instability of the energies that's brought in by the Tai Sui itself, right? In the snake, and then because it is related to the grouping of the ungrateful punishment, then we also see again there is this issue, right? Because the tiger is also involved in the frame, and it's also involved with the Fan Tai, so a group of animal signs. So it also clearly points us towards the feeling. Of course, we know we talk about ungrateful punishment. It's all about the feeling of gratitude or the lack of gratitude between a perception between 2 parties, for example, right? Or within a group. So again, it brings us down into growth, right? The growth aspect, are we growing? Are we limiting ourselves? Are we seeing somebody's perspective of growth or empowerment that is done by somebody that's external to us, somebody that could be also related to us as a threat, as a challenge, because they are growing faster, right? And because of these possible triggers to our psyche and our psychological mindset and emotions, for example, because that's the keyword of the Tai Sui activation, right? These feelings of gratitude, ingratitude are also part and parcel, right, of the interaction between the annual Tai Sui of the snake and then also with the monkey, right? So they're all inbuilt into this, right? So when we analyze each piece of the puzzle and we analyze each of the possible relationship between the 2 animal signs, we see all of this interrelated. But the key theme is again, shine, the ability to do so, the ability to hold it and be powerfully in that position, or diminishing light, which is a possibility of this, or the test of whether or not we push through with what we are really wanting to amplify, the opportunities to do so and be able to hold steady in that light, or we hold ourselves back due to the circumstances around us, right? The triggers from different people in our lives, in work, in career, and so on, that are trying to hold us back, especially if we feel that we're not ready.
Yeah.
Or inside out, we feel that there is still something that is there in terms of us holding ourselves back, or lack of preparation, lack of readiness, and so on and so forth. And then we will experience the possible destruction, the breakups, the changes, and also, of course, we will likely experience the psychological, emotional effects of the ungrateful punishment.
Yeah. All right. So overall, okay, like what Kong Yu have said, right? Okay, to submit, okay. So monkey's lessons, remember, for the snake year in 2025, okay, is about the lessons of the ego. All right. So overall, you see now, as I mentioned earlier on, combinations means magic. Okay, so for monkeys, okay, who are ready, okay, with like their full functionality, okay, you keep on creating magic in 2025. It will be a magical year for you because you are co-creating, okay, together with one of the brightest star, the pink fire, the snake, okay? Yeah, you're co-creating together with it, right? As long as the fire within means the snake is still like in a way burning strongly, okay? So you're not afraid that these combinations, even though it creates water, but as long as your fire is strong, it won't put out the fire, okay? Right? It will coexist together, all right? So in a way, this is called the, the accomplishment hexagram. Fire and water accomplishing things together. Okay, now, but for people who have more fear, okay, than hope, who have more fear rather than the passions, okay, right? Now, fear means also why water represents by fear. Water is an element that represents fear, and water is also one of the most yin element. Now, I know a lot of people thought that, I thought like whatever, like earth is the most yin. Now, whatever inside earth is the most yin. That's why yin feng shui means whatever that's buried inside earth. Now, water naturally, okay, exists in under earth. You know, the subterranean level. It's underneath, okay? All water, in a way, exists under the earth layer. Okay, so therefore, water is the most yin element, okay, of all the elements. Now, most yin element means that if we have a lot of fear, we have a lot of negativity, we have a lot of darkness within us, okay? These combinations is going to happen. Instead of magic, okay, it will put off the fire. When it puts off the fire means that now, okay, it will create more what? More fear, more darkness, more negative impact, okay, in our life itself, okay? So therefore, okay, remember, fear is the lessons of the monkey. And fear, in a way, exhibits itself in terms of what? When we are fearful, okay, there's one thing within ourselves, okay, that automatically will be on an autopilot mode, okay, to help us get out of fear, and that is our ego. Our ego is supposed to help us to protect us from this fear itself, okay? So therefore, okay, if you see that monkey is also a distraction. So therefore, when the magic cannot happen, why is it destructions? Because between monkey and snake, the snake, inside the snake is the growth star for the keng metal. So supposedly, the snake is supposed to grow the metal, all right? Supposed to grow the metal. But over time, it becomes destructive is, okay, when the ego gets into the way. When one element is supposed to grow the other element, but now refuse to do so. It's all about the cycle of life. Everyone has a function, has a purpose. And we are supposed to serve this purpose. But when the purpose, when a position, we are serving that purpose, and suddenly we say that, why should I serve you? Why should I grow you? Okay, all right. Why should I see you being like so like prosperous, and yet here I'm like behind to support or to grow you or to do things for you whatsoever. Now, when that particular element, okay, is out of alignment, the cycle of this life is broken. Okay, and that is when destruction is going to happen. Right? Along with our body is the same thing, okay? Along in the, like, maybe animal kingdom is the same thing, okay? Like you have prey and predator. Every position has its function. So when that particular one function now stop, wait a minute, I don't want to be the prey anymore. Why every time must you eat me, I eat you, cannot, man? Example. So if when these things happen itself, it disrupt the pattern. So when that disrupting of pattern happens, that's when destruction is going to happen. So why does this destruction happen in the first place? When ego is at play. Okay? When the ego is at play, it's like, you know, somehow, it's like all the planets are supposed to orbit around the sun. Okay? And the sun is the center of holding all the planets together. So one day, if one of the planets now is like, why should I orbit around the sun? Okay? I want to get out of here. That is when the disruption will happen, because in natural law, these things will never happen, okay? So when we wanted or we deliberately put in that particular things to happen, a disruption is going to happen into the whole flow of energy. Okay, that's why a destructions. Okay, the meaning of destructions is that, okay, something that comes in most of the time in the name of the fear or ego that disrupts something, okay, in life itself, and that will build chaos or problems or troubles. All right, so therefore, if you have a monkey in your chart, always have to, in a way, remember the lessons is all about checking or self-checking in terms of our fear or our ego. All right, and then after that, okay, we go into the harm. Okay, so the harm itself is the tiger element. Okay, and the tiger element is harming together with the snake. So the harm element, okay, in a way is like the element or the animals that is clashing away your magic element. Example, just now we talked about the snake and the monkey is a pairing where magic happens, the snake and the monkey. But when the tiger comes in, it clashes away the monkey so that this magic cannot happen. That's why it's harming the person. So therefore, if you have a tiger in your chart, you have to remember, okay, anything can happen to you in 2025 that might appear good, that might appear like it's something of your choice, okay? But as long as it is not in a way supporting your growth. Why growth? Because supposedly the snake and monkey is supposed to create magic. So whatever that happens to you might be something that take away that magic from you, you know, okay? Is that now, okay, when the tiger comes into your life itself, right, okay, the magic no longer can happen as long as the tiger is there. So therefore, it will be something that somehow you can feel comfortable with it, you can feel uncomfortable with it, something will happen in your life itself, right? In long-term wise, it is in a way affecting you negatively that it paralyzes you from creating your magic. Now, I like this particular quote very, very much after a movie that I've watched. It's a Cantonese movie, but I managed to find the similar quote in English as well. It says that the path to hell, okay, is paved on good intention. A lot of times we help people. As a parent, right, we do our best to give whatever we can give to our children. But whenever we help people or we give whatever we can give to our children, or as a colleague, we try to help out all our colleagues, okay, whenever they needed it. The moment we do that, your colleague might feel comfortable. Your children might feel loved, okay, or supported at that moment in time. But do you know, if you keep on doing this, the chances is you paralyzes your colleague from learning their lesson, and you paralyzes your children from growing up and also being fully independent on their own. Now, this is what the meaning of a good, how to say, the path to hell is paved on good intention. Because what you did in the first place was good intention. You just want to support, you want to care, you want to help as much as possible. But before we help, always remember, whenever we so-called help them, are we really helping them, or are we in a way 縱壞佢點講? Spoiling them, disempowering them, or even spoiling them. Okay, I like the word disempowering. Okay, so therefore, okay, the harm comes in this way. We have to be very clear, be able to see in our life itself, whatever that's given to us, done to us, so-called it can be very comfortable, okay, because the harm it's not like clash, you know, clash means uncomfortable, something here and clash you. A harm can be like you might not even know what's going on. You do not know, just like a poison slowly seeping into your system, harming you, but it won't kill you first. It might take a longest time to kill you, but it's slowly there, slowly harming you. So you don't feel the discomfort in the initial stage, but by the time you feel it, it will be too late. Probably it's already stage 4. Probably you're already like, you know, on the critical moment. So that harm is that toxic, okay, that's been put into us, right? It might not be due to bad intention, okay? It can be the other person's so-called good intention, but this intention, in a way, is paving a path to hell for the other person who's receiving it. Okay, so therefore, a harm comes in that way. If you have, okay, a tiger in your chart, be very conscious about this. Okay, whatever people do for you, whatever people offering to you, whatever people in a way giving you, okay, it can be like the most comfortable thing in life itself. Think deeper, long-term wise, how is this going to make you as a person?
Yeah, I think that's also a keyword towards the self-check, right? That the Tai Sui or the snake brings in with this harm relationship, because it is an opportunity to see where it is that we are taking things for granted, right? Or we are allowing a situation or a person or party to take things for granted.
Yeah.
right? So because there's definitely that connotation,
both
because
ways, yeah.
the harm is going to feel like it's a psychological out of left fielder. Didn't expect it. But that's only because, again, we let a situation be. We either take it for granted or we let a person or party take advantage of the situation.
Yep.
And then something changes, right?
Yep, and
that
it
triggers the
harms,
harm.
okay,
right?
that situation at the end of the day.
Yep.
All right, so we have to prevent that as much as possible. So now that we understand how this particular interaction works, we have the light shine upon us, okay, and that's the purpose of all the animal science, and also the Grand Duke is supposed to teach us these lessons. All right, so ungrateful punishment, of course, is all about what? Blaming mentality, okay. So whenever you have the monkey or the tiger, okay, in next year itself, you have form and ungrateful punishment. All right, so it's all about blaming mentality. All right, so therefore, you know, at the end of the day, it's not what grateful or ungrateful whatsoever. We just serve our function. That's it. Okay, so when we have that need to see, it's either like other people being ungrateful to us, or is it like, you know, if we do these things, will it feel like it's ungrateful towards other people? That's not relevant. Remember, at the end of the day, we just have to be functional. There's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. Okay, but the moment we have to blame, all right, that is being ungrateful.
Yeah. Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then adding on to the color of that, right? On the ungrateful punishment between the tiger and the snake. Then, of course, if you look into the elements, because we're talking about ping fire, which is the key energy that's in the snake. Then, of course, the key energy in the tiger is the jiawood, right? And technically speaking, that is where, like, you know, one level of parzi, the study, right, or the theory of it is, of course, the idea of reverse growth. Because wood is supposed to produce fire, but in this case, ping fire is also reverse growing wood.
Yeah.
So that's why when we put that piece together, it adds another layer to the ungrateful punishment linked harm that could possibly be taking place, right?
Yes.
And it adds that, like, okay, there's a question of self-sacrificial, self-sacrificing that's also mixed into it, and also taking advantage, taking things for granted, because you assume that the sun is always there to support the wood, because that's a key. But in reality, it's supposed to be the other way as well, because fire is supposed to be produced from wood. So that's why that is going to add another layer to the dynamics, right, of how this ungrateful punishment harm will be playing out, to show us deeper, right, into where the issue is, and where it is, if and when the harm actually takes place. It is the opportunity for us to look into where things have gone too far.
Yeah.
And that's why there is this thing that has popped up seemingly out of nowhere, because it's supposed to play out a harm. But of course, everything starts from a seed, and the energy that's grown into a particular action, decision that initiated the action in the first place, and whatever continued action and vibration that goes into a particular relationship, for example, right? Or a scenario, right, to take place. So it's a good opportunity, again, for deep reflection and self-awareness.
And in short, it can be a simple daily thing, Sigo, that we do to, in a way, continuously harming ourselves. And remember, the harm is actually between the tiger and the snake. It's harming the snake itself, right? Okay? And remember, it's like the moment we swallow back the truth that we're supposed to speak out, the moment we decided, okay, to, in a way, procrastinate on certain actions that we're supposed to take, the moment that, in a way, we stay stagnant instead of growing, there's already a harm, okay? Right? All this is a harm energy that we are pulling back, this energy that's supposed to go out of us, okay? And now we are keeping it back within us. So eventually, this energy itself will become toxic, that over time, it becomes a harm to us. All right? Okay, so it's like, it's very obvious. Like, for example, the relationships that's in no way look into, that you don't want to deal into it. A lot of people are running away from it. They don't want to deal with the truth of the relationship. They don't want to deal with the truth of their career. They do not want to deal with the truth of their business or whatsoever. Or they do not want to deal the truth with their own health issues or whatsoever. It is a harm, okay? So this is a harm that they need to focus on and deal with it, okay? And work towards it, okay? Before it really, in a way, becomes too late for it.
That's right, yeah.
All right.
It's an opportunity, if we have those issues which are directly related to those two animal signs, right? To dig further and to see where it is that we have mistakenly invested our energy into.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
And to
so,
fix and adjust it.
Yeah, so, okay, so I guess, okay, that's pretty much all. Okay, now I know many of you have already secured a ticket, okay, to our annual talk. You can put back this into our Soul Journey, like, yeah, group photo. I really like that Nico put it there. It's like, it's beautiful. This is Nepal Magical Day trip, okay? So for those of you who have not secured, okay, the tickets to my annual talk, okay, which is happening on the 4th and the 5th, okay, of January. Basically, it's next week. Okay, all right, so yeah, okay, so there's an English session, okay, on the 4th and also a Cantonese sessions on the 5th, okay? Please click it correctly. It's only 50 ringgit because it's sponsored by J Group. That's why we can, in a way, have it at such an affordable price at 50 ringgit so that more people can join us, for us to look deeper into the year of 2025, why this year is so crucial, okay? How to, like, in a way, look into the major 2025, what are the things we have to learn from it, what are the things we have to prepare ourselves from it, okay, in order for us to flow and to grow together with the energy, okay, in 2025 based on a metaphysical point of view. We'll talk about, of course, the parter, okay, we'll talk about personalized parter, we'll talk about the I Ching, okay, hexagram of the year, we'll also talk about feng shui, we'll talk about date selections as well, okay. So therefore, okay, please do not miss, okay, this particular event. It's happening next week, okay, secure your tickets now, scan on the QR code or click onto the link that, of course, Nicole have actually helped to share, okay. And besides this, we also have, okay, Kong Yu's personal service as well. Can
That's
you
right.
please? Yeah.
So this is a service that I do at the end of a previous year, and then of course linking to the very early part of next year. So I've already launched this 2-3 months ago, right? It's 八字 Premium, right? And there's a year-long version that I call 八字 Premium Plus. So what it is supposed to help you with is supposed to give you a personalized consultation into your 八字 chart, and based on focusing then into what is happening with the Tai Sui, the annual stars, and how it affects you in terms of your personalized chart, your personalized 八字 itself, that is. Then we will tailor make, of course, certain strategies of how we can make full use of the annual Grand Duke energy to basically grow as much as possible, and in some cases, of course, to close that deal, right? To take that bold step because you're finally ready to do so. And then the reason why it is called premium is because we will then target and we will basically hunt down the best and most effective annual feng shui sector, right, in your living space, be it your home, possibly in your office as well, so that we can directly use that booster of that annual feng shui activation to help you reach the personalized annual goal based on your personalized 八字. And so if you like that, of course, then this service is still available only for the first 10 days of January, because it is very much more effective when we do it early in the year, especially because we are also activating annual feng shui. And annual feng shui, as we know, it is most powerful at the beginning of the year. So that's why it is only offered for a limited time only every year, right? And the closing is coming up in about 10-11 days from now on January the 10th, right? So if this calls to you, and if you like a personal consultation as well as a personalized date selection for your annual feng shui activation to meet the mutually agreed goals between myself and you as a client, then this service is for you. But I have to be clear, I don't have very many slots available for this. And also, you may not need it if you're already doing your own research, your own study, and even workshops like Power Up that you're tailor-making your to suit yourself, right? Because all of that information will be taught in the class as well. So if you're doing that, and if you are going to select dates and select activations on your own, then of course don't sign up for this. But if you think you need assistance on this and a personalized consultation to help you through these steps, then do sign up for 八字 Premium.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much to all of you. I know, as we say, this is a special Facebook Live. When I say special, means it's going to be longer. Okay, it's like 10:30 now. All right. Thank you so much to all of you.
Yes.
Please, if you have not helped us to share this Facebook Live session out, please help us to share this out so that it can reach out to more people. Okay. We really appreciate your presence with us. Okay, because it's like, or else we'll be both of us talking to thin air. Okay. All right. We are so, in a way, appreciative of all the comments that we have, all the non-stop likes and love that you send for us, okay? That's like really something that keep our energy up, okay?
That's right.
Into researching more,
Yes.
going deeper into this, and so that all of us can learn together, grow together, and prosper together in the upcoming years as well. Okay,
Yes.
so thank you so much to all of you. Have a great remaining hour of Sunday, all right? And also the last
2
week.
days. Wait, last week.
Last week? No, a few days only.
Yeah,
huh?
2 days.
Oh my God.
2 days before the Gregorian calendar, December 31st.
Yeah,
ends.
okay.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
enjoy this final few days of 2024. Okay, the official entering of period 9. The years ahead is going to be so exciting because there's so much research that we have done. We can't wait to staggeredly, in a way, share with you because everything in its time. All right?
right.
So I'm really looking forward to see all of you next weekend as well in my annual Feng Shui and Astrology talk. Okay, and if we can tune in on the 31st December night for a countdown, we shall do that so that we can all count down together. Okay,
Yes.
if not, see you next year.
That's
Okay,
right.
bye bye.
Bye bye. Take
Good
care.
night.
Good night.